Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building, promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, need armed guards or unarmed guards, just give me a call on my business line, or you can hit me up on Instagram. Today, I got an incredible guest today. He go by the name of Smart. This young king is remarkable on everything he does. He's real intelligent. That's why he names himself the Smart Guy. And yo, Smart, introduce you to yourself, to the people, to the audience, and all that, and give them your mo.
Well, pretty much people know who I am. You know what I mean? Um, you know what I'm about. Black people. And that's it. Definitely about black people. Definitely about you know developing our own industries, developing a respectable nation and communities. Just anything pertaining to our people and our people's advancement on this planet.
Word up. Now, my first question for you is, in your lifespan, right? When did you realize you wanted to name yourself Smart? Because I know Smart is an acronym, but I want to know the pivotal moment that you reached to name yourself that. Talk to me.
Well, basically, I had read a book, and the book was called Goals. And from reading that book, I got into a book called As a Man Thinketh. And then from that book, I got into, I mean, it was just so many books I was got from, can you hear me? You can hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So what I got from reading these books on meditation and manifestation was whatever your name is going to bring that into your life. Whatever you think about the most will come into your life. What you speak about will come into your life. So once I realized that names have power and words have power, I chose to have a name that would create a life that I wanted to live. I chose to have a name that brung things into my life that not only I wanted, but was actually good for me and made me a better person, made me a better man, made me a better entrepreneur, made me a better artist. And it's just very important to understand that we can create the world we live in by the thoughts we think, the names we choose to associate or connect ourselves with, nicknames, aliases, whatever. That's very important. So that I think that was the thing. I was incarcerated and I was trying to create better energy in my life. And I found out through reading that my name had a lot to do with it.
Word. So you're like a firm believer of like metaphysics and all that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just I would say manifesting and manifesting and speaking things into existence. It's very important. It's very important that we understand. Okay, so if I have a name like Smart and I say, well, Smart is my name, well, the more and more I say, well, hey, I'm Smart. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Hey, I'm Smart. Nice to meet you. I'm saying something about myself that is beneficial, that adds value to myself. So when you choose a name, you choose a nickname, or you choose something that you're going to use every day, make sure it's a word that empowers you. So the name Smart is something that I chose to empower me. And believe it or not, I've actually became smarter over the years because I'm, living up to my name.
Word. That's incredible knowledge and wisdom right there. My next question for you, right? Um, I noticed that you mentioned that people within the industry are into the mystic arts. When did you realize and notice that you know, like that's the game they kind of play on tapping into the supernat. Talk to me.
Well, the more I studied, I mean, the more I put like this, right? When you have a positive energy, you're very sensitive to energies that maybe not, as positive as yours, or things that are different from you. So the more I would pursue a career in music, the more I would see things. So it just, I would say, my ambition, you know, led me to the discovery of what the music business is really about. And through that ambition, through that discovery, I realized that this is not something that I want to be a part of, nor should I even be a part of. So now I'm more focused on having success without selling my soul. Now I'm more focused on creating my music, staying passionate about what I love, which is a multitude of different things, but not losing my passion for any of my dreams and my desires. And how I was able to do that was keep reminding myself. I had to keep reminding myself that this is what I love to do. I love to make music. I love to write poetry. I love to read books. I love to help people. So I would do this shit for free. So once I understood how to detach myself from expectations given to me by people who wanted to take advantage of me, then now I could be at peace with my dream. And then I just became free and I started making music, selling my CDs on the street. I sell my music to this day independently. And I don't want to make my response so much about like the music industry being evil, which it is. I don't want to make my response so much about the music industry being satanic and people practicing magic and witchcraft and fuckery, which they do. I want to make my response more about what you can do independently without selling your soul. And you can create your own industry. You can create your own customer base. You can make yourself as famous and successful and rich as you want without the music industry. And I've been able to do that by just being consistent, being relentless, having discipline, applying myself, forcing myself to be, comfortable in uncomfortable situations, being a leader, not a follower. So when everybody is, turning against me, and I don't have to go with the flow. I create my own lane, right? So if you have a dream and you have a vision and you do music, don't worry about trying to fit in into an industry which you won't fit in. And then I had to learn the business of music. Well, what is the business of music, right? Music is the commercial for the products you sell or the services you provide. McDonald's has music, right? I'm loving it, but they have a product. What's their product? Burgers and fries. They provide a service. What service do they provide? Commercial real estate, because they're the largest realty company. They have franchises right all over this planet. They're a real estate company, so they make a lot of money off of the products they sell and then real estate. So if I'm an artist, I need to understand that my music is going to promote a product I own, a service I provide, or a product I promote, or a service I promote. Okay? So I have to understand the game of advertisement as an artist. So it's nothing that you can't do independently if you're willing to do the work. I've read it's a series they don't make anymore. It's called All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Pasman. Okay? I think he wrote about 10 editions, and it would talk about how to make money, how to pick a right team. And those books helped me tremendously with my knowledge in terms of understanding how the business of music works and how it could work for me. So as of today, I don't get too caught up in all the conspiracy, Illuminati. You know, I know I went viral years ago for that, but I just spoke my truth. And a lot of times, if we get caught up in what's wrong, we'll never be in a position to do what's right. So I'm focusing on what I can do as an artist. Well, what I can do is make music, promote products, provide services. What I can do is still chase my dream. and pardon me, not even chase my dream. What I still do, I can still live I'm living my dream. So I want to cancel that. I want to put a cancel culture on chasing a dream. I don't want to chase shit. I'm living a dream. I'm living my dream. I'm living out my dreams. That's what I'm doing.
Word. It's funny you mentioned how you expound on certain things, and now it's coming into light. Because I remember when you went viral on My Expert Opinion, you broke down on some of the things that go down behind the scenes of the industry, and I want to get your opinion on the whole situation with Puff. Now, I mean, because you spoke about this years ago, and now because of Puff getting booked now, right? There's a line of people that's involved with some of the heinous acts he committed with some of these allegedly with these women. Let me
Well,
get
I
your
never.
opinion on that.
Well, I never spoke about things to become popular. I never spoke about things to um make money. I never spoke about things to get clout or to embarrass somebody. I never weaponized the information I've acquired um due to my experiences, right? So again, it's not just we're worrying about the wrong thing. People look at Sean Combs, and nobody looks at Clive Davis. Nobody looks at Lucian uh, Grain, whatever his name is, right? Just people that run Vivendi. We don't look at the people who run LVMH. We don't look at Michael Rapino. All these people partake in heinous, disgusting acts, because it's money, it's power, it's fame. There's people who want to be successful. And a lot of times, P. Diddy is a piece of shit, but it's a big enough toilet bowl to put everybody that's pieces of shit in this toilet bowl and flush them all down the fucking drain. We got to look at Valor. We got to look at Viacom. We have to look at Universal Music Group. We have to look at 300. We have to look at Leo Cohen's. We have to look at you know uh, 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 I don't want to say I don't necessarily want to say Nike, because I know Nike they have they have their dark side, but Nike has given hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of endorsements to certain athletes. But we got to look at the bigger companies and corporations, and these are not black people, and we can't allow black people to be the face of accountability for foul play in the entertainment field. This has been going on for years before Sean Combs got involved in the music business. The casting couch. People talk about Sean Combs, but nobody talks about Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner has put underage women on magazine covers for years. Nobody talked about the Playboy Mansion parties. Nobody talked about none of that, right? So again, there's people, men, women from all walks of life who are sexual predators and hide behind positions they hold in entertainment.
Yo, Smart, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You probably got a phone. You probably had a phone call. I can hear you now.
What was the last thing you heard?
About the the how you explained about how Hugh Hefner was doing a lot of griminess with the underage females and all that, and pretty much making the melanated male look real bad on that kind of stigma, but really all different ethnic groups do the same thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, Hugh Hefner has. Well, what was the last thing you heard that I said?
Pretty much, you know what the Hugh Hefner thing on how he did the the things, you know, with underage females taking their photos and all that,
Yeah,
and,
Hugh
and
Hefner.
then
Hugh Hefner been having parties at the Playboy Mansion for years, and there's been date rape, there's been roofies, there's been underage girls, there's been prostitution. I mean, the man has a magazine where rich people would go to and pick out the Playboy models to have sex with, and all these girls were underage. So again, it's not fair for us to, white people always try to make us the face for their accountability when there's more European men who have been predators in the industry than Sean Combs. Sean Combs is a piece of shit. So I'm not.
hey yo, try not to use the word great. If you're gonna use great, just say great, not the other word. You know what I
Great,
mean?
great. What
Yeah,
you doing?
because I don't want my channel to get flagged. You know what I mean?
Great.
Great. Just say great.
What's that? Great.
Nah, not to substitute the word for the R word. Cause I could get, you know what I mean? I could get hit with a red flag.
Man, you gotta go on a platform. You gotta go on a platform where you can talk freely. This is freedom of speech.
Yeah, I know. But YouTube kind of funny with that, know what I mean?
Yeah, but listen, man, you gotta know. Listen, it's you got to edit it out, man.
I
Oh, this is live.
yeah, we live.
All right, brother. I'm gonna oblige you because you know what I mean. I don't do well with being censored to keep it being
Yeah.
right. So, these people, like I said, there's women who have been sexually abused. There's women who have been sexually assaulted. There's women who have been taken advantage of, and they've been intoxicated. They've been lured into this business, this industry, and they've been taken advantage of. And it hasn't just been Sean Combs, and there's been so many other men, white men, who hide and they get off, like Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner is a piece of shit, but he's gonna go down as a great man. Okay, um, so I think our focus shouldn't be on what or not or who P Diddy put the baby oil on a booty. We should focus more on creating our own industry where the future generation doesn't have to go through the horrors that people have went through to try to have a successful music or entertainment career. And that's what I'm doing with the No Labels tour. So I have my No Labels tour, and on my No Labels tour, it's a seminar series, and I'm teaching people how to be successful, how to be independent. I do consultation, I do mentoring. I have an audio book that's on the way, and this is the stuff that we cover: how to be successful without selling your soul, how to have success without selling your soul, how to get dollars without getting on your knees and having to swallow.
I mean, some people may because when you was on Math Hoffa platform, they kind of brushed it off, said it's not a real thing, and some people may not understand that. That term, selling your soul, is a real thing that happens behind the scenes of the industry. And what
Yeah,
advice would you give to the youth on to not take that route?
man, start small. Start where you stand, then stand where you start. Stop trying to be famous and focus on adding value. See, there's a difference between being appreciated for your art and then being famous. A lot of times people just want to be appreciated for their art. And if you don't have that feeling, that should be your only focus. So choose appreciation for your art over fame. That's one. And then create customers out of the people who appreciate your art and then create a product that add value to the people who are appreciating your art, and make sure that product that you create is something that you use every day. It's like utility. And then set a financial goal for how many products you want to sell to the people who are in appreciation of your art, who are your customers. Then start setting quarterly financial goals based upon the things you sell to the people who appreciate your art. And then be consistent, and then take on the responsibility of making sure that your art is marketed to its fullest potential to the people who appreciate the actual art.
So pretty much develop a strong fan base that will support you.
I don't want to say fan base, because I feel like, who wants to feel like they're a fan? I say people who appreciate your art. Develop a group, develop a coalition of people who appreciate your art. Yeah.
Word. And that's kind of like the similar formula a lot of content creators use, because they have like monthly subscriptions where they pay a monthly monthly payment or installment plan, where they could get certain perks off their channel or whatever platform they're trying to distribute their product. And I think that's good advice. My next question for you would be that I know you like a professional boxer. So like, how often do you like able to, I guess, promote like the fights you be having, in the future and stuff like that? Talk to me.
Well, I got social media, right? I got social media. So I just got my promoter's license. I've been making sure my paperwork is good in terms of just the business aspect of boxing. And then 2025, we're moving full steam with my boxing career. Yeah. So everything is, I have everything kind of like prioritized and planned to execute. So with anything that you do, with anything that you do, you gotta plan and prioritize, right? And don't let other people discourage you, because critics don't exist. Once you like, I feel like everybody who has a dream needs to make that an affirmation. Critics don't exist. There's no such thing as a critic. You just input, output, So I'm going to be a light heavyweight world champion in boxing. I'm going to get a Grammy. I'm going to sell 10 million records independently. I'm speaking what I want for me to come into existence. And I don't care what someone else thinks about it. I don't care what someone says. I just give myself all the energy and attention. So with the boxing is, man, it's a very it's a dirty game. So you have to really know what the fuck you're doing inside the ring and outside the ring. You got to develop a strong team. You got to have the right people around you. You got to have people around you who want to see you win, who's not going to rob you, who's not going to take advantage of you. And man, it took me some years, but I finally developed a strong, suitable team, and we're getting ready to move full steam ahead.
Now, since you have your own promoting company for boxing, do you think you'll ever promote other boxers other than yourself in the
1,000,000%.
future?
Yeah. I'm getting ready to open up a boxing gym. So listen, I'm super excited about that. So yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna have stable fighters, nothing but mean motherfuckers, world champions.
Now, yo, hold on. Since we talking about boxing, right now, do you think that Floyd Mayweather really lost that fight to John Gotti III? I want your personal opinion on that, man.
Everybody, listen, you can give an opinion, but what was the result? See, every people say Floyd Mayweather lost to Castillo the first fight. Um, you know, yeah. So my thing is, what does the record say? Undefeated. See,
Well,
boxing is not.
and when you watch that fight, he really dominated the first 6 rounds, man. So I don't know how they came up with the conclusion that he lost the fight, man. You know what I mean?
What was the end result? See, that's what life is about. You know, with boxing, it's not just winning in the ring. You have to win outside the ring. You have to make sure you have the proper promoter. You got the proper relationships, right? Your business is intact. You're doing good business. You're doing great business. And Floyd Mayweather is the greatest at winning inside the ring, but also winning outside of the ring, right? So when you look at when Tank fought Ryan Garcia, they put rehydration clauses on the fight. They had a strict weight limit. Everything outside of the ring was leaning towards Tank. So when they got inside the ring, the momentum that Tank had outside of the ring carried itself inside of the ring, and he got the victory inside the ring and outside of the ring simultaneously. When Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia, they allowed him to come in 3 pounds over. There wasn't strict drug testing because he tested positive for performance enhancement drugs. So Devin Haney's team's shortcomings outside the ring spilled over into the ring. So the moral of the story is you have to make sure you have an aggressive, tenacious, serious, well-informed team that does all the due diligence on a macro level and on a micro level, on a large scale and on a small scale.
Word up. Now you mentioned that you've read books on Sigmund Freud, right? Which is the founder of psychoanalysis. Now, did that lead you to
Wait, hold
get
on.
into?
Sigmund Freud, he's a cokehead too, by the way. It's not the father of anything. They just give a lot of these so-called founding fathers credit. The Egyptians, the people from ancient Kemet, we are the black people. We are the fathers of psychology. We taught everybody. We taught the Greeks taught the Romans, and the Greeks tried to take credit for it. So John Locke and Sigmund Freud now gets like this undeserved credit for being whatever. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, did that lead you to get into child psychology? You know what I mean? Because I know
No,
you're
no,
into
no.
like.
What let me get into child psychology was trying to understand how to heal myself, how to stop paying for the sins of my mother, and also how to stop paying for the sins of my father. Also, how to re-educate myself, change the self-image I had of myself in my subconscious mind. And through studying child psychology, I found that a child's learning curve is the shortest between the ages of 0 to 7. And where the child should be learning more advanced stuff between them ages because they're the most influential between the ages of 0 to 7. I also found out that the mother represents the physical self-esteem for the boy, especially if it's a black boy. So I had to understand that, my mother did a job on dismantling my internal self-esteem and mental fortitude and mental toughness. So I had to redevelop those things through meditation, and I would have visualizations and visions of myself being younger and having my older self talk to my younger self and give my younger self encouraging words. And then that helped me start to cultivate a better and new self-image of myself, my subconscious mind. And I was able to, untie some of these knots and heal some of these wounds that were given to me as a child. And I was able to deal with a lot of trauma by understanding the after effects of all the trauma I experienced as a child and how those things were playing a part in my life as an adult, such as abandonment issues, trying to find love from a woman that I was supposed to get from my mother. So I had to learn that that could possibly happen, and then how to deal with it. Then I started realizing that certain behaviors, certain things that I was doing was a form of escapism, was my form for not dealing with whatever I was dealing with. So I used child psychology to understand my childhood, and I also use child psychology to find innovative ways to do some self-healing, and it worked out for me tremendously.
Yeah, because when it comes to trauma, man, I think there's a certain level of a process you have to go through in order to, fully heal from whatever trauma, anyone have, gone through or whatever, And I think that's amazing on how you let people know that it's really important to, do some self analysis on yourself, so you can
Analysis.
figure out, yes, so you can figure out on how to properly heal. Know what I mean? And I think that's incredible, man. What is born. My next question for you is, do you think within our community we lack like political science in some type of degree? And do you think it's necessary for it to be implemented into our social construct? Talk to me.
Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah, I think. I think understanding political science is important, but I also think it's important for us to understand how to develop our own government, how to develop our own, our own agencies, coalitions, and institutions that have political influence and political power. Um, and through our understanding of political science, we can vote for politicians who have a vested interest in our social and societal development. Now, a lot of times we don't realize that it's not just about a vote; it's about the dollars behind the vote, and that money that you pour into somebody who's running for office needs to come from a coalition. So now the coalition has the power. So when somebody financially backs Trump, it's a group, it's a collective of people who have institutions and who have power. So now they're gonna use their money to get their guy into power, and when that guy comes into power, he's gonna do right by them because they're still powerful men. So we haven't even begun to start to create our own institutions, our own government agencies, let alone our own government, especially here in America, right? Because America is the closest thing to Germany for Jewish people. We're the only group of people still living in the land of our Holocaust, expecting the people who put us in the Holocaust to free or emancipate us. So we have to realize that America was never designed for Black people to have success. So we're going to have to be very proactive in accumulating the success that we feel we deserve as a culture, as individuals, as communities, as families, and then eventually as a nation.
I totally agree with you on that. But now, yo, some people might give you some pushback. They might say that it's not that bad. It's not to that extreme. Know what I mean?
Doesn't matter. That's not pushback. That's just a unaware person, partially desensitized, or maybe, has a little self-hate, but there's no pushback because the reality is it's been over 400 years of us still dealing with systemic racism.
Now, do you think that systemic racism is a real thing? And if so, what would you tell a young Black man on how to avoid of getting caught up in the court system web? Talk to me.
I mean, you have to develop your family. You have to develop your family, and you have to develop a mindset of understanding that who you are. You're not a nigger. You're not a criminal. You're not a perp, right? You're not a DIN number. You're actually a god and a goddess. So you, we have to develop positive self images of ourselves, and then we have to project how we see ourselves into the world. So now the world sees us how we see us. Nobody's in charge of um our soul's descriptions, right? And if you're younger, I definitely will want the younger brothers to understand how you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. There's no wrong way to do right. There's no wrong way to do right, but there's also no right way to do wrong. Okay. So I would definitely teach the younger brothers in terms of how to avoid the traps of the system, the judicial system. Is embrace delayed gratification. A lot of times you want to make the money now. You want to make the money fast. You want to make $100,000 today, but then do 100,000 years in prison. And you can't wait 10 years to make 100K. But by the time you made the 100K in 2 days, got locked up, got robbed, got killed, lost it, you could have made and kept that $100,000 in 10 years if you'd had patience. So I would teach those people just the importance of patience and how to apply patience to your life and understanding how to play the long game, pause, versus just the today's game. How to play the game for tomorrow, not just play the game for today.
Word up. That's good advice. I noticed that you always expounding on delayed gratification from the Most High. When did you realize that delayed gratification was getting you prepared for your true calling? Talk to me.
But we never really know when God calls us for something. It's a difference between God calling you for something and you working hard towards something, right? It's a difference between God calling you to do something and you working hard and moving towards something. You can have success in both areas, but when God calls you to do something, you never really, 9 times out of 10, you didn't expect it. You didn't plan for it. You didn't prepare for it. It's just a calling. God prepared you for it. God gave you life and blew breath in your lungs for it. God gave you the attributes, capabilities, and abilities and gifts to do what he's calling you to do, but you didn't know that you would be called for that. So it's like a pleasant surprise. It could be scary, it could be a shock, it could be motivating, whatever it is. It's different things, right? But when you're working towards something and you're working extremely hard, then you have a level of entitlement because you notice what you want, you've been working hard, so you expect good things to happen. Then when God is calling you to do something, you got to have faith. You got to believe that. You got to trust that God wouldn't tell you to do something that you wasn't supposed to do or capable of doing. So whatever pain, turmoil, or turbulence comes with following God's purpose for you, you can accept it and deal with it because you have faith. And then that's the delayed gratification. You know it's going to be greater later. You know it's light at the end of the tunnel. And with God, it always is.
Word up. That's definitely a powerful gem right there. Now, yo, I'll be watching you, man, and you also mentioned right, uh, the Marvel characters from X-Men are really African deities. Now, do you think, and rest in peace, do you think Stan Lee bit off those African characters deities and got it for his own well-being for his comics?
I
Talk
mean,
to me.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, so I definitely want us to do a part 2 so I could be a little bit more prepared, right? Because you gotta, when you want to have conversations like this, you kind of want to get the brother a heads up so that way I could just, be more informative.
Yo,
But
my bad. But you always deep anyway, so that's why I thought, you know what I mean? But my bad about that.
I mean, it's all. It's what I do, man. You know what I mean? Stanley, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, all you have to do is do a quick Google search on African gods, African deities, and then their power, and then you just cross reference it with all the characters that Stan Lee created and their powers, and then you'll see where the inspiration came from, right? Because it's too exact, right? So, I mean, white people know who we are. That's why they condition us to forget who we are. Because if we remember who we are and we live in the presence of who we are, then the power is going to shift from them to us. Okay? So they know who we are. They make money off of our ignorance. They monetize our unawareness. Okay? and they thrive. That's systemic racism. That's slavery. Why would I go pick the cotton when I can have this good chocolate brother over here and his whole family pick cotton for the next 10,000 years? Why would I have to lift up this boulder when I could just have you do it? Right? So Stan Lee for sure. But however, we still have our skin is made out of the universe. Our skin is made out of the universe. There's fluid in our brain that gives us God X-Men like power, which is neuromelanin. So every black man has a super power. And when you tap into your neuromelanin, you'll find out what your power is. And through repetition brings out our power. Delayed gratification brings out our power. Belief and visualization brings out our power. So this is why you got to be careful with calling yourself a nigga. You got to be careful with listening to certain music and how you listen to that music and how you bop and how you shake your head, right? Because we have the power to use our power, and our power is the most powerful power on the planet. We're the strongest. We are the superior race. So with that superiority comes responsibility, but it also comes with work ethic. So we have to start working and practicing how to activate our neuromelanin and how to apply that shit to, our lives on a day-to-day basis.
Word. Now, did you grow up reading like comic books and all that? And if so, what's your favorite comic and who's your favorite comic character? DC, Marvel, don't matter. Let me know. Neither.
Well, now I'm my favorite super god. I don't have I'm learning more to look at people who look like us, who are alive. I can't give credit to no comic books, because the comic books are just inspiration and off the real thing, right? So I'm gonna look up some African gods, and then those become my inspiration. And I strongly suggest anybody watching this to start looking up African gods, African deities, and then letting that be your inspiration, and then being your own personal inspiration. I'm a superhero. I have power. So why would I don't need a comic book. Stan Lee needs to make a comic book because he doesn't have the neuromelanin flowing through his brain like I does. Stan Lee needs to do that because he can't fly like Superman. I can levitate, I can fly, I can teleport. There's no limit to what I can do. So I don't need to read. I could just look in the mirror. The magazine is the glass in my mirror. The comic book is the images in the comic book is the image I see when I look in the mirror, that reflection of myself. That's my motivation. And that should be yours too.
Word is born. You right. I'm gonna start. Y'all me doing my research on some of them African deities. Now, man. Now, my next question for you would be: now, do you think the culture of hip hop leads the youth into the prison system? And if so, let me get your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. We know our problems. Look, man, we have to create our own media. Music, listen, how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. How you think creates how you feel. So if you don't understand that your thoughts, music affects and creates certain thoughts for young people, especially the listeners. So what type of music is popular? Drill, genocide, killing each other, over sexualization. So yeah, music definitely plays a part. However, music can now play a part in our elevation when we start to make more uplifting music. We're gonna go back to making soul music. We're gonna go back to making jazz. We're gonna go back to making a music that's, we're gonna go back to making a music that is, uplifting for us, as opposed to things that just tear us down.
Word. I think that's good advice for our community on figuring out a way to create our own media, so that way we can control the narrative and not put out so much negative stigma on the melanated people. I mean,
For sure,
now
absolutely.
what happened?
I said I agree with you, absolutely.
Word. Now, my next question for you, right? All right, for like 2 decades, right? Um, you know, black men have received the stigma of being like a deadbeat. Why is it that they make that a focal point and never give a female, um, not give a female, but make sure she's held accountable for her, you know, vicious ways? Talk to me. We having a little technical difficulty, but hopefully, we'll be able to bring back Smart. I guess his phone is tripping, but if not, y'all, we'll just make a part two, and we'll continue on with the show right here. You heard? Just give us like 2 seconds. Yeah, we're gonna kill the show. So it's your boy Rush signing out. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and always remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.